I've been getting asked a lot about whether or not you should get your experience from a cook line or from culinary school. I think what we have to do is start by separating the types of experience you get and what exactly you're learning when you go to culinary school versus when you get your experience on an actual cook line. The reason why school helps, I'll give you an example. When I first got into a kitchen where I had to make a lot of stuff. It was way back in, it was like 2011, and I was working at the hospital, and I learned how to make brown gravy, or at least I thought I learned how to make brown gravy. The way they showed me how to make brown gravy was using beef base and roux. Well, they didn't cook the roux. They would heat the butter up and they would mix flour into the butter until it became thick like cookie dough and simply mix it into the beef stock. And that was it. No seasoning, no nothing. So I went for X amount of time. I don't know if it was months or years or whatever. This is how I always made it, thinking that it was the correct way to do it until I started working in a better place where they explained how to make it correctly. Saw what I was doing, was like, what the fuck is your problem? You're being an idiot. Like, you're supposed to cook your roux. It's supposed to be, like a 50-50 mixture. You're supposed to use this. You use these drippings. You don't use this beef. And I got corrected. Those are awesome learning experiences. What the point is that restaurants will often have various different ways of doing something. You go one place and you learn how to chop onions one way. Then you go to another place and you learn how to chop onions a different way. So you learn, you get experience, you learn, and it's not necessarily that what they're doing is wrong, but there are, the saying is there's more than one way to bathe a cat. I don't say skin because I got 3 cats. I love cats. We're not skinning cats in this house. But what we have is a situation where everybody has an opinion, and you'll see this online. You'll see it in my comment section. You even see it on like Andrew Wiseman and French Cooking Academy. You see it on their channel. People in the comments will be like, well, you're supposed to do this before you do that. And that's because there isn't a uniform experience. Somebody working at one fine dining place learns to do it this way because the chef thinks it's better if you do it this way. One person puts their potatoes through a food mill. Somebody else doesn't skin their potatoes because they want the nutrients from the, you know what I'm saying? It's like a whole thing. What culinary school does is it teaches you the way to make roux, to make a gravy, to how to use thickening agents. It teaches you the way to make a hollandaise sauce, or to chop an onion, or to block and chop a carrot or fruit or whatever. So it teaches you these. Then on the other end, culinary school also gives you management skills. I'll give you an example. Right now I have, this is the one that I usually bring up. This is hospitality law. It's a big, thick book. It tells you everything you need to know about liability insurance, dram shop laws, all these different things. Here's another one. Contemporary club management. Everything you need to know about food and beverage service of country clubs. What even are country clubs? Why do country clubs even exist in the first place? You learn what they are, the history of them, how they got started. Bar and beverage book. That's another one. So this teaches you everything you need to know about managing a bar, running a bar, mixed drinks, all the different things. You may work at a restaurant for years that doesn't serve alcohol, or they only serve wine, or they only serve beer. Yeah, I could keep doing this. I could just keep pulling books off my shelf. There's books on tourism, books on hospitality management, books on interpersonal communication, books on leadership, and you learn it all in a curriculum from people who are not designed. You learn it all in a curriculum from people whose job it is to teach, rather than a cook who happens to also teach people. For example, my YouTube channel, there's things that I know that I've picked up along the way that I think are awesome tricks that would be good for you to know. And then I also am imparting some of the stuff that I learned through culinary school into these free videos for somebody that doesn't want to spend $20,000 on culinary school. So when you're asking yourself, should I go to culinary school? The answer depends on what your goals are. Do you just love to cook and you just want to cook and be an awesome cook and that's your goal? Then you can just go be a cook. You don't need certification other than outside of ServeSafe and like the food handlers and stuff like that, but you don't need to go to school for that. You know, at most you'll need to take a course, and a lot of times if you need to take a course and pay for a course, those are paid for by the restaurant. But if your goal is, I want to own a high-end food service restaurant, the failure rate of these restaurants are super high. So you want everything that you can possibly have in your toolbox that will give you the biggest chance of success. One of those is watching some of my content, watching other YouTubers, and possibly going to culinary school. But it's up to you to make that decision. You know, you watch other people that say don't go to culinary school. Well, listen to what they're saying and make an educated decision on whether or not you're willing to spend that kind of money and whether or not you have the time to actually do something like that. And if the answer is yes, then just go. Even people that shit on culinary school all day, they may have a point. And it's something that's important to listen to. But that doesn't mean that you need to avoid going to culinary school because you're worried you're going to get made fun of on the cook line because you went to culinary school. Most of the time when we make fun of people that come in from culinary school, it's because they come in and they act like they know everything. You come in with an open mind, willing to learn, willing to demonstrate that you're willing to, you know, shadow somebody and learn how it's like really done once you get in there after you learn like the basic skeletal structure, and then you can start applying that knowledge. Anyways, I hope that helped. I hope that helped you make an informed decision, but you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you on the next one.